Welcome to Bad Gear, the show about the world's most hated audio tools. There's a problem with Volcas. It has been over a year since Korg brought a somewhat fresh model to the market, and I have more or less reviewed them all. Today we are going to talk about Bass. This 2013 monosynth with a twist is part of the original Volca trio that started it all. Trademark toy-like appearance, beginner-friendly price tag, and an obscure cult of Facebook dads fantasizing about shoving them up there. At the first glance, it's a Volca 303 style knobs, controlling a 3-oscillator synth engine, and living in harmony with a basic 16-step sequencer we know and love. As you might have already figured out, the oscillator section goes well beyond what you would expect from the classic silver box. Sure, it's limited to humble saws and squares, and there's a sufficiently fat-sounding mode for stacking them, but you can also combine just 2 of them and use the third as a single oscillator voice, or treat them as 3 voices triggered from their own sequencer lanes. I didn't find a way to address them independently via Midi though. This versatile portfolio of raw tones needs to be squeezed through one Korg 700S style 12 dB filter, which allows for Moog-ish basses without completely destroying your low end when cranking resonance. Nice. While the simple syncable LFO can only be routed to synthesis parameter staples, the filter envelope offers the luxury of an attack stage. You can assign it to amplitude as well, and it comes with switchable sustain. Those of you who expected to be cranking out authentic acid lines might be disappointed by the lack of an accent track, but Korg came up with a rather convincing slide effect. I was also missing swing, pattern chaining and motion recording, but Active Step lets you create shorter variations of the already short musical motifs. Patterns can be entered using real-time and step record mode, while step mode is a basic yet useful pattern editing tool. The stylish silver design can be considered vintage now, build quality is fine, and fortunately mini jack Midi wasn't that big of a thing when Bass was first released. You can still buy it for around $150 new or family pepperoni pizza on the used market. Volcas have been an integral part of this show since the humble beginnings. Will Korg release new models soon, or do we have to resort to Uli's even smaller creations? You have already heard Volca Bass in today's intro tune. That's turned out to be on the mid-rangey side, but it works rather well in this context. I wanna know how much raw and undiluted bass power we can squeeze from the little synth. Nice, although this little arrangement used up an unhealthy proportion of the synth's pattern memory, the pure sound of the instrument is a nice combination of 70s vintage vibe and acid aggressiveness. The big cut-off knob makes tweaking easy. Volcas were an introduction to electronic musical instruments to many people who are in the midst of a serious synth addiction now. Time to let bass shine in a multi-generation setup. No surprises here. There were some issues with analog Volca sync, so I had to resort to an external Midi clock, and you better have a bunch of mini jack adapters ready. I wouldn't be ashamed to use any of the 4 instruments in a professional production. As I am a big fan of the 3 oscillator stacks, we haven't tried the other oscillator modes yet. Let's hear some slick non-bass tones in what if 90s house was already a thing in the 70s, crisp and clear 4 on the floor workout. Korg Volca Bass has become a modern classic and it punches well above its weight. Many of the known Volca weaknesses don't apply here because of the thick oscillator structure and chunky main controls, and I prefer the overall tone of the filter to that of more upscale Korgs like the Mini or Monologue. That being said, it is still a Volca and its use is limited by the minimalist connectivity, primitive sequencer and lack of real multitimbrality. Given the countless other compact synths released over the last 10 years, it doesn't come as a surprise that Volcas are not in Korg's main focus of interest anymore. They could, however, save boatloads of money by skipping R&D completely and just releasing real versions of the memes. Thanks for watching and see you next time! Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, become a patron and leave a comment what other kind of gear you would like to see and hear on the show.